Hello, everyone. So today is day 11 of my live video challenge, and I want to talk today about being happy. So there are so many people out there who are having a tough time in life, and that's normal. I go through ups and downs all the time. Some days are better than others, but I want to talk today about 10 things that you can do to be happier right now. So, the very first thing that I want to talk about is choosing your inner circle. So, we cannot always choose our family, but we can choose our friends and who we hang around with, right? So, if you are hanging around negative people who are always just in a negative space, they're talking about negative things or bringing you down, not making you feel good, focused on things that are just, they don't feel good. Complaining about things, complaining about events that are happening, complaining about their lives, that is going to affect you. So the very first thing on my list is changing who you hang around with on a regular basis. This is so important because the people that we associate with, have you guys ever heard the expression, you attract, your tribe attracts your vibe? It's so true, because if you're hanging around people who are constantly complaining about life or not having money or this bad thing happened to me or that bad thing happened to me, it's gonna affect you. Whether you're, trying to help those people, maybe you're the positive one in the group and you're trying to bring people up. But here's the thing, you guys, people do not, you can't help somebody that doesn't want to be helped. So if somebody is in a really negative space in their own life, it doesn't matter what you say or do, they have to be at the point where they want to make things better for themselves. And so what happens is the longer that you hang around with people that are in that negative space, it's going to bring you down. And so I'm not saying that, you need to just ditch all your friends right now if that's what's going on. And obviously, like I said, everybody goes through hard times. But if there's a pattern with people that you're hanging around of just constantly complaining and not being happy and, just talking badly about other people or whatever, that's a pretty good sign that those people are not going to help you be happier in life. So thing number one is be careful who you hang around with. Really be choosy on who you bring into your inner circle. So I guess to piggyback off of that and go to the family, you might have somebody really, really negative in your family, and we can't get rid of our family, right? They are part of who we are, and we just have to sometimes love them for who they are and how they are. But you can choose to, if you have family members that are really negative and they're always trying to bring you down to their level, you can choose to not engage, and you can choose to kind of distance yourself. And sometimes that's the best thing you can do, is just put some distance between you and the person who is being negative. Because like I said, at the end of the day, you could have the best intentions in the world to try to help that person, but if they don't want to help themselves, and if they're not ready to be making some changes in their own life, it's just going to affect your positive vibes. So the next thing on my list is following your passions. So there are so many people that I know, that I've come across, who, if you ask them what are they passionate about, their answer is, I don't know. If you don't know what you're passionate about, then stop what you're doing right now and sit down and make a list. Make a list of things that make you smile, that make you feel good inside, that bring you joy, that just, if you think about it, it puts a smile on your face. That's something that you're passionate about. And, that can change over time. For me, I have always loved animals. It's something I'm super passionate about. Helping people in any way that I can is something that I've always been passionate about. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be a thing. I mean, you might be super passionate about sports. You might be super passionate about, going on your boat on the weekend, whatever that is, focus on that. But if it's an external thing, like going on your boat, why does that make you happy? Why does that make you feel good? So the point of the following your passion is to really go deep and figure out, like, why is this bringing me joy? Is it because you're spending time with friends and family and you're laughing? Is it because you're feeling excitement when you're on the boat? Maybe you're going like skiing or tubing or whatever, fishing. What is behind that feeling of excitement? If let's go with the fishing example. If you're spending your time fishing and that brings you a lot of joy, is it the connection with nature? Is it the quiet time away from the stressful life or the world, that you live in? So those are clues of bigger things that you could be doing with your life. So if you kind of break it down and you look at those passions and you say, well, yeah, I love being in nature. What can you do to help nature? What can you do on a bigger scale to, help the environment? So those are just a couple of examples, but the things that we're passionate about are clues as to what we're supposed to be doing with our life. And so if you really take it and you go on a deep level with that and kind of break it down and break it down and break it down, it's that's the way that you find your purpose in life. And if you don't have a purpose in life, if you don't know why you're here, and here's a big clue, you guys, it's not to just work every single day and die. It's not to pay bills and die. It is, we're all here for a reason, and we're all here for a higher purpose. So the things that excite you, those are clues as to what your higher purpose is. And so if you spend some time just kind of thinking about those things and break it down, it'll give you your purpose. So that is so important. I think that that's the number one thing that a lot of people miss, is that they feel like they don't have a purpose in this world, and they're just kind of wandering around aimlessly, and that creates a sense of emptiness. And when you feel empty, you're not happy. So that would be my second thing, is focus on your passions and focus on things that make you smile and bring you joy. The third thing would be, and this is a big one, and this one is a hard one, but stop looking to other people to make you happy. Stop doing it. If you're doing that, knock it off. It is not up to somebody else to do the right thing, say the right thing, provide the right thing to that make you happy. It is not somebody else's job to make you happy. It's your job to figure out why you're not happy. It's your job to make some changes and do things that make you happy. And putting that responsibility on somebody else is not fair. So looking to other people, whether it be, a partner in your marriage, or a friend, or your kids, or your job, or your boss, those are things that are going to make you unhappy, because when you have expectations in your mind of how things should be, people are not mind readers. And so what happens is you will be disappointed time and time again. If you are pursuing a business opportunity and your partner is not being supportive, would it be nice if they were supportive? Of course, absolutely. If they're your partner, hopefully they are. But here's the thing, it's not your partner's job to go out and do the work for you. It's your partner's job to be your partner. You're with that person for a reason. So stop looking to other people to make you happy. That's your job, not somebody else's. The next thing would be number 4, more things do not make you more happy. So if you are looking to get more stuff, more money, more items, more, maybe if I live in a different place, maybe if I just had that really nice car, if I had that boat that I could go fishing on, or another horse, or whatever it is, then I would be happy. If I had more money, so many people look to money to make them happy. And, I spend a lot of time doing, just learning and doing like self-development type stuff. And one of the common things that I see in people that I admire and look up to is that it's not about the money. It's not about how much you have. It's about what you give back to other people. And so that leads me into my next one, is that if you are so focused on yourself and what you don't have, chances are you need to adjust some thoughts in your mind, because it really comes down to what you're focused on. If you are, like I said, putting so much weight on getting things or having money, you're gonna set yourself up for disappointment, because money is not the answer. Of course, money makes things easier, and it gives you things that add to your quality of life, sure. And when you can pay your bills at the end of the day, that's a great feeling. So I'm not saying that money's not important, but when you place your value and your happiness solely on obtaining things or possessions or money, you're going to be unhappy. And it doesn't matter what you have or how much money you have. You're not going to be happy, because that's not truly what your purpose is. That's not what your soul wants, really. So the next thing would be, in relation to that, changing how you look at things. So if you're going through a really hard time right now, and like I said, we all go through hard times, we have ups and downs, what can you do to change how you're looking at the situation? If you are so focused on all of the BS that's going on in your life, and all the people that are nasty to you, and how much you hate your job, and how naughty your kids are being, or whatever. If you're so focused on those things, you're going to miss all of the good things that are happening in your life. So instead of focusing on the bad things, try focusing, even when things are really, really hard, find something, even if it's that you woke up this morning and you have a roof over your head. That's a good thing. If you woke up and you have your health, that's a good thing. So stop focusing on negative things, even when life gets hard. Focus on what you have. Focus on the good friends that you have, even if it's just one person that's consistently been there for you in your life. Focus on that. So changing your thoughts, changing what you focus on, that would be the next thing that you can do to be happier. When you start focusing on good things instead of bad things, that right there is an automatic, fast lane to happiness, seriously, and it takes practice. It's not an easy thing to do. When you're having a hard time in life, to be like Miss Positive Pants all the time, or Mr. whatever. It's really something that you have to practice. And when you catch yourself being in a negative space and kind of looking at things and getting caught up in that, just stop yourself and refocus and think about something that you're grateful for. And just keep doing that over and over. And in time, when you do that, it gets easier and it comes more naturally. So the next thing is taking responsibility. So I cannot tell you how important this one is, you guys. If you're not taking responsibility for things that are causing you to be unhappy in your own life, and you're blaming other people, and this kind of goes back to what I said earlier about looking to others to make you happy, but if you're blaming circumstances or other people for your unhappiness, that is never going to get you into the happy zone. It's just not. What is your part in why you're not happy? You know, if let's use the marriage example again, or a partner example, or a relationship. If you're in a situation and you're struggling, what's your part in that? You know, what can you do? What are little things that you can do to shift that? If you're struggling with a person's behavior, it's not necessarily that you're excusing that other person's behavior, but what can you do? What is your part in that can shift things? You know, are you responding in an angry way? Are you frustrated all the time? Are you being unkind to that person? Are you not being understanding? Those are all things that you could change. You have control over, and that comes from taking responsibility in your for your own part in that situation. So, you know, if you're avoiding certain things, are there patterns that keep popping up over and over in your life? Are there the same things that keep coming back at you in different ways? I talked a little bit about this yesterday in my video about karma. When we go through a hard thing in life, generally speaking, there's a lesson in that for us. And so if you are not really seeing the lesson in whatever you're going through, it's going to keep repeating. So are there patterns? Is there a certain way that you've been programmed to think? Maybe things that happened to you when you were young, childhood, or did somebody say something to you at some point that kind of made you think a certain way about yourself or situations? Those are patterns, and you're in control of changing those patterns, and it's up to you to change those patterns. So if you're not happy with something that keeps repeating itself in your life, there's a reason why it is, and taking responsibility and fixing, we'll call it fixing those things, is how you become more happy. Because here's the thing, like, going through hard times sucks, but if there's something that you could do to alter that, and you know that there's things that you're avoiding dealing with, at some point it will come back and it will bite you in your butt. And so that kind of leads me to my next thing of taking action. So if you're just kind of coasting along and you're just being complacent in life, if you're avoiding things that you know you need to deal with, whether it be emotionally or maybe even externally, things in your life, if you're avoiding those things because they don't feel good, it will come back and it will make your life more unhappy. And so the way to avoid some of these hard times is by just dealing with things that maybe aren't quite pleasant to deal with, but checking them off your list. You know, if you have a lot of bills that you need to pay, if you have racked up your credit cards to like the point of no available balance, maybe it's just making a commitment to take action to get one of those cards paid off. And then from there, you pay the next one off, and then the next one. And pretty soon, you're not so unhappy about all of the financial debt that you are carrying on your shoulders. When you take care of things, when you take action, is that takes things off of your shoulders. It takes the weight off of your shoulders, and it changes, how you feel. When you feel heavy all the time because you're worried about all these things that are stressing you out, that doesn't feel good, and it's pretty hard to be happy. And so that's something that you can do. Take action to get rid of the things that are weighing you down. Here's the thing. This is a common saying, but if you want different results, you can't keep doing the same thing. And so if you want to be out of debt, if you want to have a better marriage, if you want to be happier in life, then you need to start doing things differently than what you've been doing. And maybe you've been doing things the same your entire life. Maybe there's a certain way that you choose to deal with things. Maybe you just choose to ignore things or, kind of put it on the back burner so that you don't have to think about it. But that is always going to get you the same results. And so if you want to be happy and you want a better life, then you need to change your outlook on that, and you need to change the patterns that you've been doing and do something differently. And so that would be the next thing is taking action to make things better. If you want to be happy, then you need to do something about it. And so along with that, so the next thing I guess would be how do you be more happy? So let's say that you've kind of gone through your checklist and you've taken care of all these things, and you have really put the work in and taken action. What if you're not sure what makes you happy? What if you're not sure what makes you smile? What if you're not sure what brings you joy or puts a smile on your face? So the only way to figure that out is to try new things, right? So if you aren't sure what makes you smile, then try 10 things until you find something that does. And just keep trying new things. And here's the other thing too, is that we all grow and change as people. As we age, as we get older, maybe something that you used to enjoy just doesn't feel the same to you anymore. For me, when I was younger, I used to be super, super artistic. I still am, but I used to love to create things out of drawing. I used to draw a lot. And because of some emotional things that happened to me, I had a creative block. I would sit down and I would try to draw, and because this used to bring me joy, it used to make me happy, and I would get so frustrated with the fact that I was just blank. I couldn't get out onto paper. I had no inspiration at all. And so that came for me personally from, like I said, some emotional things that I went through. And but what I was trying to do is I was trying to keep doing something that maybe didn't feel as good to me now as it used to feel back then. And so that's the other thing, is that be loving to yourself. Just because you used to enjoy something doesn't mean that you're the same person now. Maybe back in your 20s or whatever, you used to be partying all the time and just going out on the weekends and hanging out and doing the bar scene. And as you get older, speaking from example, as you get older, that changes a little bit. Maybe that used to be the most fun thing in the world to you, but now that you're older, it doesn't feel quite as fun anymore. Maybe you're in a relationship now and you don't have the same goals as you did when you went out before. And so trying new things until you find something that feeds your soul is how you do that. It's how you move on. The next thing is self-improvement. I cannot say enough about this. If you are feeling stuck, if you're feeling stagnant, if you're feeling unhappy with your life and the way that things are, and this goes back to, the first couple of things that I talked about, if you're kind of in this space of just not really, just kind of blah and not being happy, then do some self-improvement, read some books, read some self-improvement books on subjects that you're interested in. If you're interested in spiritual things, then read things that have to do with that. If you're interested in making money, then read some things that have to do with that. So do some self-improvement, read, work on yourself. If you're not happy about the way that you look, if you're not happy about your health, then do some self-improvement to change the things that you're not feeling good about. So if you're overweight and you have a pattern of, kind of consistently eating when you shouldn't be or eating the wrong things, then do some self-improvement, do some research, do some education on things that you could do to maybe change those patterns and take action to do it. And that will make you so much more happy. Maybe to improve your health, you learn how to do yoga, or you, I don't know. You guys get what I'm saying. There's another part of this too, of the self-improvement, and that is self-love. So, I spent a lot of my life worried about other people's happiness. I wanted everybody else to be happy. And as a result, I was kind of sacrificing the things that I needed in my life for me to be happy. And so along with, and this to me falls under that self-improvement category, but it's more of a self-love thing in setting boundaries. You can love other people and you can take care of other people. And, as a mom, I have 2 kids and I'm married, so I have animals. I'm always taking care of other people. But when it comes to taking some time for yourself, maybe it's going and getting a massage. Maybe it's just taking 10 minutes to go and be outside in nature, or going for a drive and cranking up your music and singing at the top of your lungs with your windows down. Whatever it is for you that rejuvenates you in some sort of way, it's important to do that. So setting boundaries is another big thing. Setting boundaries, not letting people walk all over you, and knowing your worth. You are unique, you are valuable, and knowing that you are in this world for a purpose, and even if you're not quite sure what it is, and that you have things to offer to other people, that is loving, that is value. And so having boundaries around that and not letting people take advantage of you and walk all over you and just kind of giving and giving and giving until you have nothing left to give, that is another form of loving yourself. And it's so important, because if you're not loving yourself, then you're just constantly going to be drained and you have nothing left to give. So along with that too, I want to just talk about, in the self-improvement, we all have a past, right? We all go through things that hurt us. We have, we have wounds. That's just part of being human. And so part of improving yourself and self-love is working on letting go of the things that have caused you pain in the past, not walking around with those, not holding on to those things, not stuffing them down, deep down, and not dealing with it. Healing your past in whatever way that works for you. So, maybe it's a family member that really hurt you in some way, shape, or form when you were growing up. Letting go of that and just choosing to love that person and know that maybe it wasn't you, maybe it was them struggling with their own issues, and that's why they put those things on you. So healing your past, letting go of things that you've been holding on to, anger, hurt, resentment, frustration. As long as you are holding on to those things, you can't truly be happy. And so that is probably the most important thing out of all of this, is just letting go of things that are weighing you down, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So the last and final thing on my list is helping somebody. So I talked a little bit about this when I was talking about the money, but help somebody. For me personally, when I help somebody, it makes me feel good. So, go out and volunteer. If you are, maybe let's say that you're feeling a little bit lonely and you don't have anybody in your life that you feel is there for you, whatever, go out and volunteer. Volunteering is such a great way to meet new people and make new friends who are passionate about the same things that you are. Get involved with something that you're passionate about. Get involved in some groups, get involved in some community efforts to make the world a better place. Inspire somebody. When you share your knowledge with other people and you share things that you're passionate about, that is a good feeling. And doing it for free, not expecting anybody to, give you something in return. When you go out and you help somebody out of the goodness of your heart because you really care and you really want to make a difference, that is the best feeling in the world. And so that is my list of 10 things that you can do to be happier right now. Hopefully some of these things gave you some inspiration. If they did, give me a heart, give me a like on my video, or drop me a comment and just let me know what are some other things. If you guys have some other ideas of things that you can think of that could make somebody more happy, give me a comment, and I'd love to hear about it. So I hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday. Have an awesome day tomorrow at work if that's where you're going, and I will see you on my next video. Take care, everybody.